Hello and welcome to Tormunda Plays Dwarf Fortress. First up, you probably sat there saying, hasn't this game been out like forever? And the answer to that is yes. It has been out a long time, but they've never stopped working on it and developing it. And the reason why I'm going to do a session on it now is because it's coming to Steam. I mean, wow, after all this time, Dwarf Fortress comes to Steam. Now, the Steam version, it's going to have, I've had a look, there's some nice sprite artwork, it's going to have better interfaces. I mean, it's going to be more what you'd expect than... I mean, if you've never seen Dwarf Fortress before, you're probably looking at the screen going, why are there a load of letters on the screen? But, I mean, let's just address that for the moment. If you've never played Dwarf Fortress before, and this is the first time that you've actually seen Dwarf Fortress, then, wow. Yeah, it's probably one of the best, or arguably is the best building game as far as base building that there's probably ever been. Let's go there. So many games have built their game based on having played Dwarf Fortress and wanted to try and do something similar but with graphics and all the rest of the stuff. So, what makes Dwarf Fortress so great? Now, before we go any further, look, I know there are some absolutely... Well, there are sites dedicated to Dwarf Fortress. Nothing else other than Dwarf Fortress. And Krug Smash, I'm looking at you. I mean, Krug Smash is probably like the god of Dwarf Fortress as far as I'm concerned. And you're probably there going, oh, well, can I go and watch his channel? And yes, of course you can. The reason why I'm doing one now is I wanted to take this opportunity to do an episode. I mean, if you really like it and you, in the comments, put like, show us more, then yeah, okay, I'll do multiple episodes. But the reason I'm doing an episode is so we can look at it now, and then when it comes out on Steam, we'll have something to compare it to. You can say, oh, okay, this is what we were playing before, this is what it's like on Steam. So, what makes Dwarf Fortress so amazing? I mean, where to start? It is a massively in-depth world that it creates for you. It randomly generates a world with a history. When I say a history, I mean it goes into great depth on everything. And you can build a base. I'm trying to find a nice sweet spot. I could go into the details of what I'm looking for, but I think I want to actually try and get it going first, and then we can talk about stuff like that. I mean, this is going to have to do me. And before anybody asks those who played before, I'm just going to go with the default like layout of guys. I'm not going to... Right, okay. So, it's a massively in-depth world. There are, I suppose, 4 prime races. Dwarves, elves, humans, and goblins. And there's just so many creatures and monsters that we won't even think about going there. Now, you start off playing... Well, you always play the dwarves. I know there are mods to play other races, but you play the dwarves. But you could end up with other races living in your home. Should we call it that? Oh my god, what kind of a place have I gone and started in? This could be a really disaster, but that's fine. Let's run with what we've got. That's the whole fun of Dwarf Fortress. So I'm just going to quickly change the display to something a bit easier to look at. Now, there's so much to learn in Dwarf Fortress. We could be here for hours and hours and hours just trying to cover the basics. But let's just say, what is it that's on the screen? Because right now it's probably hurting your eyes and you're going, oh my god, I don't understand. It's like looking at the Matrix. It's just lots of green stuff coming down the screen, and I'm looking at it going, oh yeah, there's a blonde, a brunette, a redhead walking down the street. It's just like the Matrix. But I promise you, by the end of this, you will look at this screen and go, oh yeah, this is fine, I understand everything, it's not a problem. And I am playing with, I'm actually playing with a graphics pack added. If I don't, it's actually less informative than this, as standard. But there's loads of different graphic packs out there. I mean, if you wanted to give Dwarf Fortress a try before it comes out on Steam, I mean, yeah, just you can search for graphics packs. There's plenty of them. So what are we looking at on the screen? And this is nice and simple. Right in the middle, there is basically our card. We've turned up with a card with lots of stuff on it. Now these little guys here, I've got like 2 yellow, 2 white, 2 blue, and a green. They are my dwarves. They're the people that have ventured out and they want to set up a new settlement. Now, straight away, I'll just tell you some of the crazy stuff that Dwarf Fortress can do. I mean, if I don't like people and I kick them out, and then, I don't know, ages from now, I decide to make another fortress on the same world, the people that I've kicked out could actually turn up at my new fortress going like, hey, can we join your fortress? The person before kicked us out. I mean, the depth of this thing goes to, you will not believe, I'll show you the depth it goes into on a single dwarf in a moment, and it actually does that for potentially hundreds and hundreds of dwarves in your building, never mind everything else that's in the world. I mean, it really is just crazy in-depth storytelling and detail beyond any game that you've probably ever seen. So next thing is, I mean, there's like letters on the screen. It's like D's and Y's and capital D's, and well, the dwarves didn't just come here on their own. They always like bring some starting animals. Now, without even looking, I know what some of these are. I know the little C's are cats, the little D's are dogs. Oh, I can't quite remember what these two are, so let's have a quick look. I mean, it's been a while since I've played this, but I'm no slouch at this. I mean, I'm alright. Yes, I'm going to be rusty because I haven't played it for quite some time. But yeah, I feel comfortable with Dwarf Fortress. Comfortable enough to have a little play around here and see what's what. So it says that I have a donkey and a yak. Okay. Well, that's what's in the area. There's also some other stuff in the area. I do believe if I want to just see the animals, I can use Z, I do believe. Animals. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my animals, and you can tame them. So straight away, we're looking at, I mean, I'm using my cursor to show you, but sadly, the game is all keyboard. I mean, Steam will have cursor driven, I bet it will, but I won't be moving my cursor much because I'll have to use the keys. So the dogs, as you can see here, it says I can train them for war. As if I scroll down, the other stuff I can't. So some animals can be trained for combat. Others can't. So before we go any further, let's go back at that and look at who we've got in our group. Now, yeah, so first of all, let's go and have a look at our group here. So we can use this to look around the screen and target individuals if we wish. And go in to see what jobs they've got first, or we can bring up a list to say about our people. So let's bring up a list about our people. We have a miner, a woodcutter, the leader, a stoneworker, a jeweler, and 2 fisher people. Now, these jobs that they're listing, that's just their current highest skill. It doesn't mean you have to keep those. That's just basically what they're currently good at. We can quite easily go to a unit, list up its labor types. No, it's professions, labor, and I can go down this list. Oop, I can go down this list, and I can change what I want him to be good at. Like this guy here, I also maybe want him to help out and cut down trees. And also, yeah, oh, you can do one or the other there. Maybe help doing some farming. Yeah, so you don't have to just have what it gives you. You can tell them what you want to do to a certain degree. So next up, let's have a quick look at the screen here. So, what are you looking at? Why is this all blue? You're probably saying to yourself, is this water? What are those zeros? Those zeros are tree trunks and trees. And Dwarf Fortress is built on layers. In the bottom corner down here, you can see I'm on layer 137. Yes, that's a lot of layers below you. Okay, so we can press keys to go up and down layers. So if I do this, I know it takes a moment for you to get it in your head. What are you seeing? But I'm going to go down a layer. So all those little triangles here are slopes going down. Yeah, so I'm on top of something here that goes down into this area, and the reason this is blue is because that's actually going down and down and down and down and down. It's not water. You'll know water when you see it. That's not water. So I can press a key that says, let's look down a layer, and I can move around. And then where the slope's going down again, I can say, well, let's go down again. And then it looks like I can move my cursor over it and have a look. And do view. And it says that this is, oh, it's not telling me what that is. So it's a key to look. It's saying a snow-covered, dense blue sedge, a pile of snow. Oh, well done, Tormunda. You've started our dwarves in the snow. Fantastic. That's not good, is it? And up here is just pebbles, grass, boulder. I mean, not a good place to start. What's this stuff over here? This is a clay stone wall. And this is probably sand, yeah? Yeah, a loamy sand wall. And I can go up and keep just going up into the sky until there's nothing. Layer 150 right now. Let's go back down. So yeah, it's all about looking at your world one layer at a time. Now you're probably sat there going, oh my, how am I going to cope doing that? 150 odd layers, one layer at a time. Well, you can create shortcut keys to take you to different views, but you get used to it. You really do. So let's get things started. First thing I want to do is, I mean, I'm just shocked at just such a bad location I've told my guys to go to. This is pretty shocking. Oh my. I mean, what's that P? It's a P over here. What is this P? It is a porcupine. And right, see, so there's animals, but I need wood first. So let me just cut down some wood. So it's let's remove trees. Select an area. Okay. So my dwarves are going to go off now and they're going to start cutting down trees. And I'm actually going to, oh, I think down in this recess, let's let's get something happening down here. Now your dwarves won't sleep outside. They just won't. So you could build a structure outside with a roof for them to take shelter in. But if it's just like an open, wooden fort, they won't go in there. Well, they'll go in there, but they won't sleep in there. They'll just go mad eventually if they don't go to sleep. So you need to get underground. Also, you need to grow like mushrooms and things. They want mushrooms to turn into beer. So to do that, they're also, what are they currently doing? I got none of them skilled in mining. You're gonna grow mushrooms underground. So he's a miner. Why are people not mining? Can I mine, please? You mine. You mine. Make sure everybody can mine right now. I need people to mine. Yeah, they can. And also, I'm going to put down some areas to leave stuff. So you're probably looking at what I'm doing now, thinking, "Oh my God, he's gone mad. He's gone mad." But no, seriously. I want my food here. I mean, it's one of those games that it's just incredibly in depth, and I know you're looking at it right now thinking, but Tormunda, it's just a bunch of strange letters. But believe me, it is exceptional. It might look very basic, but it really is an amazing game that's been around a long time and inspired an awful lot of people to develop games. And the fact that it's still in development, I mean, I don't know what they've added to it over the years. I mean, I have played it on and off, but the fact it's coming to Steam, I mean, that's just amazing. So this is the latest build. I mean, you can get it's a free game. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be free on Steam. I doubt it, because they would have had to have done a lot of work to make it. Let's just say the word. Invent a new word. Steamable, should we say? For something that people are going to accept as a Steam game. I mean, in a weird kind of way, Dwarf Fortress isn't even a classic kind of game, because it's a world builder, city builder. I suppose any kind of builder. It's not a game as such. It's a story that you're inventing yourself. And believe me, Dwarf Fortress really does become just an amazing story. I'm going to scare you now, and I'm going to show you the kind of level of depth that this goes into. So I am going to ask our expedition leader to tell me what he's currently thinking. It's like death by wall of text. This is just one guy I've asked. And it's like, oh yeah, I've just finished doing some work. Oh, that was very satisfying. And it just goes into a massive amount of depth about what they're currently thinking, who they are, what they look like, what colour hair they have. And this just gets more and more in depth as the game plays. It's not just a a little summary, I mean, these guys, as things happen to them, they gain not just more history, but they can have complete personality shifts based on some events. If things go really bad, they can completely change the way that they look at the world. And I mean, yeah, the depth on some of these people is just crazy. It really is. And each one of these people, I mean, I've got an outfit in clothes, armor, weapons, food. I mean, it really is a lot. And I can capture hundreds of creatures and train them. And I mean, the first thing I need to think of is defense. Things are going to come along and kill my guys. So in Dwarf Fortress, I think the first thing you should always think of before you do anything is defense. But saying that, my guys, I mean, they don't need beds straight away, but I want them to. There's so many different things needed to craft. If I showed you every single thing on the list, we would be here forever. I am going to just quickly craft them some beds, just so we can kind of create a little bedroom, somewhere for these people to hang out and chill. I need to get a farm going that's going to make crops. But as I said, defense is probably one of the biggest things. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is Dwarf Fortress is a single core game as it stands right now, this version. It plays fine, but I have had some battles later in the game. I mean, the craziest one of all that I had is you could end up with necromancers on your side as well as the enemy side. And I had a battle where a large force of goblins managed to break in to my very big castle. I mean, I had hundreds. I think it was something like 300 dwarves I had. And they were coming in, I don't know, it might only have been, say, 20 or 30 goblins. And you're probably thinking, well, come on, that's not many. Because, I mean, there are some very big armies of goblins that will run around. And you're right. That didn't start off as many. It started off as, oh yeah, this will be something that, I mean, I had quite a lot of warriors for those who know the game. And yeah, I mean, I was quite confident, although this was going to be messy, that it was going to be something that we would be able to handle. But then it just kind of started to escalate. I lost a lot of people in that initial 2 rounds of combat. I mean, sorry for the screen jumping while I'm talking. It's just trying to navigate through the menus sometimes is a bit clunky. Yeah, I lost some people in that initial combat. So did they. But then their necromancer started to raise them. And my necromancer started to raise them. And somewhere in the middle of all this, all of my visitors, I had a load of like humans and elves and things hanging around, being entertainers and things like that. And one of them got hit somewhere in the middle of that battle, and I'm just trying to plan things out here for a moment. And so all the NPCs kind of joined in as well. And at one point, there were several hundred people fighting in this battle, but it wouldn't end. It kept going on, and every time somebody died, they just became undead. On my side, on their side. So we had undead fighting undead, dwarves fighting humans, elves, and goblins because the NPCs just attacked everybody. The bad guys attacking everybody. Everybody was attacking everybody. And it was just a single core game. And I think it went on something like 4 or 5 hours of just this fight never ending. It was just a war of undead by the end of it. It just kept going. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure in... Oh, there's so many different ways of doing things in this game. They really... I do hope that the interface in the new game is clean, because yeah, this one is... Every time you open a menu, there's like a different set of keys for moving, or a different way to lay down what it is you're trying to do. It doesn't keep the same keys through all of the menus. Now, yes, okay, you do get used to it, don't get me wrong. But still, you're kind of like, well, hang on, I just used the arrow keys, and now you want me to use the plus and minus, and we just used the plus and minus, and now you want me to use U, K, M, and H to set sizes. And yeah, sometimes you're playing this game and it's kind of like, oh, which key am I supposed to be pressing? But I do really hope when it comes out on Steam, they give us a really nice interface, a clean, yeah, Steam kind of interface, because the game has such ridiculous depth. See, I'm constantly jumping in and out. The game has such ridiculous depth to it that it would be a shame to not have it do extremely well on Steam because of the interface being old and clunky. I mean, I'm sorry for all those who are amazing Dwarf Fortress fans. I mean, so am I. I mean, I do love Dwarf Fortress. It is brilliant. But the interface is like, oh, really? I mean, come on. This is like hard work. You're making me sort of like having to fight to get through what I need to be able to just pick. It shouldn't be such a hard task. But that's fine. I mean, it is fine. Let me get my dwarves to be more on the screen a moment. I can set, I do believe, a meeting area here. Meeting area. I could have set a dining area, but yeah, so all the animals and dwarves, when they're doing nothing, they'll just hang out in that little area I designated. Now, I've got dwarves here planting mushrooms. And you can't plant mushrooms on rocky ground. You have to find some kind of sand or soil in the earth to put the crops in. So that's what they're doing here. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm about to do, is I'm actually digging out a channel. A nice long channel. And then I'm going to go and remove all the edges. You'll see. So you'll see it's kind of like a pit. And this is like easy defense 101. I mean, there's loads of ways of defending your base. But the simplest one of defending your base is just to put a bridge, a nice big bridge, on the starting area. Now, you might say, oh, well, you just removed a lot of the challenge there. And no, I haven't. So yeah, I'll be able to put a bridge there, which will stop them coming in. Enemy attacking from above will stop them. It'll stop them. I'll just raise the bridge. But I need stuff from outside, and more migrants will arrive outside. And if I just leave them out there indefinitely to die, they will turn into ghosts and come and haunt my people, and I'll have to build like little slabs of memorials to them and all this kind of thing to keep the ghosts down. And to be honest, I probably need those people to keep growing and do jobs. And where I really want to get to is down deep in the earth in terms of the really big caverns and all the really cool, interesting monsters down there, and fight and capture them. And at some point, I mean, there's a whole world. Let me press the world button. I mean, there's a whole world, and these are covered with friends and, you know, alliances and enemies. And I need to get a force of warriors to go out and fight some of the bad guys on here and raid them and win and capture stuff off them. And I mean, there's so much to do. Locking myself away for a little while behind a bridge, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's absolutely fine. It's not going to do anything other than buy me a bit of time. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to get some of the bits and pieces together now that I need. I mean, this is not going to be my base, folks. I mean, those who've played Dwarf Fortress, I mean, you know the score. It's kind of like, just build something where you can survive. I'm not quite sure why beds haven't been built. Okay. You can survive, no problem, by just making a hole in the ground temporarily. And that's what I'm doing. And then once you've got past day one, I mean, I haven't even got any water. Once you've got past like a few days and you've got yourself a little bit of protection, then you can start focusing on a proper base, and a base that's probably going to go down deep into the earth. I can't remember how many. Let's make 4. Yeah, and give yourself somewhere decent to survive in. Now, this setup, I mean, at the moment there's a ramp going down, a ramp going up, so my dwarves can get back and forth. But when I'm going to build my bridge, I need to get rid of the ramp on my side. Otherwise, the enemy is just going to run down to the pit, run up the ramp, and break down my bridge. I mean, that's no good. So temporarily, I'm going to dig a little channel here so that my dwarves can descend down into that pit. So I'm going to now dig a little hole. And then after I've finished, I'm going to fill that back up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down into the hole. I'm going to clear away these 3. I'll leave these 3 for now because I need to get in and out. There you go. That's cleared away. And then build. Find a bridge on you somewhere. So many things. G. And this is on the menu, I do believe, whereby I need to do this U thing. And then a K for width. So that's going to be my bridge. And then I need to decide which direction it raises in. So it raises, you can see it says here, it raises that direction. Okay. And I need, yeah, a bench of stone will do. Don't want to use my logs because, I mean, I haven't got a lot of logs. Now, I need to make sure that one of my guys, I need to make sure that one of my guys, it's best to use so many different keys here. Oh, have I got one? No. Best to make sure that one of my guys is an architect and somebody's a mason. So somebody is an architect. I might as well make the same guy a mason because he's going to need to build it. Otherwise, it's not going to get built. It'll just sit there flashing forever. Right, the next thing I'm going to need is a lever that I can pull to raise and lower my drawbridge. Now, one of the things I can get my dwarves to go off and do while we're waiting is gather plants. Just any old plants. I mean, they've turned up with some food, but if I can just grab some, I don't know, any old plants out here. Yeah, all this area. I don't really care in this area. Right, okay. I could do with setting where my dwarves are as an F key, so I can just jump to that. So hotkeys, F1 is now here. Okay. So yeah, if I go away, I can press F1 and, oh no, it's over there. I did that wrong. Hotkeys. F1 is zoom here, yeah. Okay, I believe that that's right. Let's just try F1. Yes, fantastic. So yes, you can set up a bunch of different views as you go down into the world. Now, why isn't this guy building this bridge yet? What is he waiting for? Okay. Okay, I can't tell that there's a jobs list here somewhere. So jobs list J. Oh, there you are. Before I even go any further, he was working. It was just taking his time. So yeah, he's removed that now. He's going to put in some like little stilts of some kind. But he is working. He's cracking on there, making me my bridge. Now, I need some stores inside. Everything is outside at the moment, and that's no good. I can't really tell what I've got very easy if it's all outside. And when you get a proper base later on, you don't want to just stick everything in one room. I mean, that's probably like the worst idea for stores and for management of how things are going to be, you know, shortest, best, optimized route and all that kind of thing. You need to think about, yeah, don't just stick all your crafters and your stores in one big blob. It can just end up being a nightmare when somebody decides that they've lost their cool, they throw a tantrum, and then they just go on a wrecking spree. And if they start destroying all of your crafting stuff, that's just not good. I mean, that really isn't. Sometimes, especially like the craft station, for like general craftsmanship, which gets used a lot when people want to try and make artifacts. It's good to put that in a separate room with, or more than one of them, with a door that you can lock, because when somebody decides to go and create a legendary artifact, if they can't find all the pieces they need, they go mad, they go insane, and yeah, you can't like ever get them back. They go insane and they just start freaking out, and they'll just keep freaking out. And sometimes it's best just to lock the door and just leave them in there until they die, and then yeah, take their body to a nice coffin somewhere. Because that can become a bit of an issue. Oh, there's so many things in this game. So many. It gets to be quite something as it goes on and gets more in depth. It really does. I mean, I've put those beds. I mean, you're probably all looking at me now if you play Dwarf Fortress and you're going, "What are you doing? You haven't assigned a bed to anybody or made a bedroom or anything yet." So I'm going to make all of that a dormitory. I just pressed the wrong button. Let's do that again. So make bedroom, all of that, please. D for dormitory. Yes, there you go. Because that's a dormitory, it means they'll all come and sleep in there. And yeah, I know, folks, that's not a very appetizing looking room. I mean, you can tidy up all this stuff. You can dig out and polish the walls and make it actually look like it's got graphics. Right now, that is not the case because I've just dug a hole in the ground. I mean, my guys really aren't going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's a great place to hang out." No, not at all. Okay, let's get that done. So yeah, it does look a mess. And I understand that. And for the first little playthrough here, I will play it through to the point whereby we can make it look slightly less of a mess. I'm trying to find. I don't want to build. I want to. No. I do want to build. I'm trying to find something that for some reason I can't see on this list. Can I? Ah, here we go. Levers. I want a lever. And I want my lever. I mean, who really cares where it is? I'm going to stick it over here. You don't really want it right next to the drawbridge. Because say you had like a guard at the drawbridge and a bunch of goblins come charging towards your fort. The guard, although you've told him to pull the lever, might end up being stupid enough to forget pulling the lever and instead go and engage the goblins, which he will lose. Goblins are hard in this game, by the way. And you've left the drawbridge down, and they'll just come charging in and slaughter everybody. So you want really a lever that's not in line of sight of your invaders, so that whoever you tell to go and pull the lever will probably end up pulling it rather than going, "Oh, there's a load of goblins." So yeah, I got mechanisms. Fantastic. Right. I think that lever is now set up. I mean, my guys are just bringing stuff in that we brought on a wagon. I told them to bring in like all of the furniture and bits and pieces. I mean, there's more stuff out there that I haven't told them to bring in. But that card up on top, I mean, that's history. I don't need the card. I mean, I could also start thinking about, okay, let's get this wood in and going out and getting more wood. I mean, that wood I got outside there is not going to last at all. And I mean, food. I could link the food up to the farm, and then what I could do is put a side room, probably this area, where I will designate to say, just put seeds here. So you're probably saying, how do you just specify a single thing like seeds? And okay, so when I go over this allotted little flashing thing, I go into settings for what I'm going to keep in there. I can drill down. So in the food, I can drill down and say, I don't want, so forbid meat, forbid fish, go down to stop all these. And then for seeds, I can leave it as fine. But then, I mean, say we get lots of seeds that only grow outside. I mean, man, that's going to be a pain as well, isn't it? So I'll forbid all the seeds, but then what I'm going to do is go in and find the ones that are for inside, like this one, and just turn these four on. So what will happen now is, oh, I also want to go into here and say to people in the kitchen, can you not cook my I don't have any. That's not good. I was going to pick this one of my seeds and say, can you not cook them? The seeds I'm talking about is, if I look at this thing here, they're growing plump helmets, and I've only got 4 seeds which are currently growing, and it says at the top here, I've got no more seeds. Because it's not listing them in my kitchen. I can't tell them not to cook them. That's not good. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. And the moment they harvest, come in here, and if I see plump helmets, I need to tell them, don't cook them. Otherwise, yeah, they're gonna eat my seeds if they get hungry. For the thing that I need to make them alcohol. And dwarves without alcohol, they're not happy dwarves. They really aren't. Speaking of which, let's try and make them a little still. I mean, it's not going to be much. And one of the other things I can do is to tell them also not just cook or eat my seeds. Is I'm going to tell them not to eat the plants as well. So back in the kitchen. So somewhere in here, yeah, plump helmets. So I can come down this list and say, oh, I've gone wrong list again. Don't cook. So there you go. So I've got 20 plump helmets, and I've turned off the cooking. It's now red. It says you can make them into alcohol, but don't go eating them. Okay, that's a no-no. So if they get very hungry, tough. I don't care if you eat everything that you need to make alcohol. Well, you're not going to be happy at all. So let's just try for a moment to see if this drawbridge of ours works. So we go to Q, go to here, add a new task, capital P, pull the lever. Bonk, there you go. So the drawbridge is up. Now obviously people can still get back and forth because I've left this, so then they're doing this. But I'm going to close this off now. So let's go and set this to be capital P, pull the lever. Dunk. And it's down. Fantastic. So let's go and build. Build wall, and I want, there you go, oh, one more, yeah, just build that. Thank you very much. So then they're going to bring stone over there and get that built. Fantastic. There you go. And you can actually see, I mean, I'll do a bit more because I know this isn't really a long playthrough or anything. I'm actually going to polish up that little bit there. Just to show you, I mean, so I have got a graphics pack added. I'm doing this just to show you that it doesn't have to just look like a load of dots. It can look better. Somewhere here, I thought I built a. I thought I built a crafts thing. Was that above? Is that by here? Where did I build it? Oh, okay, I thought maybe it collapsed. I'm going to build a new one. To build a carpenter's workshop in here. Thank you very much. And then I'll get. I mean, I haven't got lots of spare wood, so that's probably not the best thing to build. So here we go. I'm doing the very thing I said not to do, is put all of the craft stuff in one place. But as I said, this is not really. This is not a real fortress, so I'm building now. I mean, this is just something I'm throwing together so I can survive, and then sit down and think and plan. I mean, I couldn't even plan a proper fortress at this point, and you're probably saying why, and that is, I have no idea at the moment what's underneath me. If underneath me there's lots of damp stone and water and all sorts of stuff, I'm in trouble. I need to be able to dig down, and sometimes that's not straightforward. So yes, if I can't dig down, it's not a case of, oh, game over. I mean, no, of course I can fix that. It's just that's a lot harder to get past and sort out. I'm just going to remove this a minute. So they bring the wood in. I mean, I might have to make pumps, or try and do tricks whereby you dig out a pit that gets full of water, then you go to the levels above and you basically cut out a block the same size, and then when you cut like the last piece that holds it in the air, the whole block will collapse into the hole, and it'll displace the water at first, but then the water will go away, and then you should be able to dig through the center of that block that you just smashed into the ground and get yourself like one more layer deeper. But yeah, I mean, if there is an aquifer below me or damp stone that keeps laying in water, that could be a long, arduous task for my dwarves. And I would really, if this was going to be a proper long fortress, I would have to have a long, hard think. Oh, 2 of my dwarves just got married. I mean, you can go and have a look and get personally involved with these dwarves. It is a game whereby your dwarves are not going to die of old age. They can live for hundreds and hundreds of years. So getting attached to your dwarves and making sure they're looked after and they got like a good room and checking on their wants, and especially when they get to the point whereby, I mean, they get mayors and you have to assign, I mean, priests. The depth this goes into, I say, for those who've played Dwarf Fortress, they know the depth it goes into is just unimaginable if you've never played Dwarf Fortress. That it's just crazy. And if you haven't played Dwarf Fortress, I mean, I'm just trying to show you some very basic starting, getting off the ground things here. Just something that allows you to organize yourself slightly. Something that you can do just to live through the first few days with some kind of protection so that you can focus on things like, oh, I need more wood, I need to try and get some food, how am I going to do that? I need somewhere for my animals to live. I mean, I can't have my, donkey and yak and God knows whatever else living underground. They'll just starve and die. There's a lot of things that you'll have to try and overcome in your initial days. And all I'm trying to do right now is just show you some basics so that you've got a chance. I mean, right there in front of you is a hole in the ground with a farm. I haven't told them to actually make alcohol yet, so let's quickly be an brew. And yes, okay, you sat there thinking, oh my god, how much micromanagement is that? And it's not. When you get later on, you can get it's not a broke guy. Wait, it's a manager. When you get a manager, you can go into a different menu basically on your crafting stations and tell them to do craft hundreds and hundreds of something. So it's a lot easier to manage as you get a bigger fortress. But to start off, you literally have to go in and every single thing is like, can you do this? Can you do that? And one of the things I just got my guys to do is just to build some doors, just to try and make this opening area just seem like, oh yeah, it's starting to look like a real thing, not just a bunch of strange squares on the screen. So as you can see straight away, I mean, we've got like walls have started. It stopped there because that's the only bit I polished up. But you can see, I got flagstone floors, I got walls, I got doors, and it can start to look like a proper. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not going to be up to the games that you're going to see on Steam. But as I said, they are doing this on Steam with some artwork. So, I mean, hoping that it's going to be something that the majority of Steam players won't go, oh, it's terrible. Because you've got this game here right now in front of you has got an absolute massive following. And it is a brilliant game. And all those people that follow it and all those people that say how great it is, I've managed to look past I don't understand all the strange letters and symbols that I'm seeing. That's just odd. And that's the biggest thing with this game is you have to learn to look past the artwork. It's not a game about artwork. It really isn't. And so the Steam one probably will be more artworky, but even then it's not going to be like cutting edge, super 3D. It's just not. So for those who haven't played Dwarf Fortress, I would say have a go, even if the artwork is not great, because the depth is just, oh, it really is unbelievable. The depth, it's something to behold, and it's going to give you countless hours of fun and getting destroyed and making another fortress and then getting that fortress to go and try and get revenge versus the people that destroyed your first fortress, and then them going to war with it really is. It's not just, oh, I'm going to play and see if I can make a bunker for 10 minutes. As I said, there's people out there that are gods of this game. And if you want to know more and you want to see some of the crazy stuff, go and watch something like Krug Smash's channel. He just dedicates it to Dwarf Fortress, and he just does massive long stories, and he'll do artwork, and just his episodes just go into like massive story depth on the people and the things going on and the wars that he's waging, and it's just so good to see all of the story hooks that are in this game being shown in such a way so that people can see that the depth that's going on. Some migrants have arrived, so okay, I'll carry on. I've three dwarves and a big W is probably, I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. What is it? What is it they're bringing with them? It's not a camel, is it? They're not bringing a camel, eh? No, it's a water buffalo. They're bringing a water buffalo. 3 dwarves and a water buffalo that I can't possibly feed. Fantastic. That's just what I need. Coming to live in my hole in the ground with a drawbridge and a little polished entranceway. Woo! And we've got no beds. We're all just sharing beds. But that's fine. So, I mean, that's going to be it. I wasn't going to do a long session on this. I'll pause it there. If you want more, I mean, if you're there going, Tormunda, just make that hole in the ground into a proper fortress. Show us what it's all about. Take us to the depths of the earth to fight monsters of the long forgotten years, and kit up your guys in really cool armor and go to war with your neighbors and all that kind of stuff. Then put something in the comments and I'll do, I don't know. That'll probably take a lot of episodes. I'll probably have to do lots of edited episodes just to try and cut through a lot of the time it's going to take me to do things. Unless in your comments you say, no, show us every minute, like for the next 300 hours worth of playing. But leave something in your comments if you want some more, and I will actually take this ragtag group of dwarves I have in front of me that I haven't even looked at. I don't even know their names. I have no idea really what they're thinking, and that's quite an important thing. And turn this lot into a bunch of heroes that are gonna make a fortress to be like, to be able to go the distance against some of the enemies that we're going to be up against. Then say, leave in the comments, and I'll do that. I'll give it a shot, and I'll see where we get to. But for now, that was it. It was just a one-off to say this is Dwarf Fortress as it is now. It's due out on Steam in the coming soon kind of date. And then I'll actually do another episode then, I think, of This is Dwarf Fortress, the Steam version. And we can kind of reflect the start, those opening few hours. How do you compare the two? So, that's it from me. Thank you for watching Tormunda Plays Dwarf Fortress. Bye.